With the next Pokemon remake being only a couple of years away, which are the black and white remakes, I'm wondering, like, what is the future of remakes going to really look like? Pokemon Black and White were 2D kind of Pokemon games. They had 3D elements to it, and then moving on to the next generation, Pokemon X and Y, those were the first ever 3D Pokemon games. Obviously, the X and Y remakes are far away. Like, we are probably like almost 10 years away from those remakes, so that's kind of crazy. But anyways, Legend ZA is not a X and Y remake. Legend ZA is in the same region as Pokemon X and Y, but it's its own game. Like, it takes place after the events of X and Y. It's not a remake. I'm just clarifying that because I do have people ask that every now and then. Obviously, we love Pokemon remakes, and I kind of have been talking about this a little bit on the channel recently. It's been something that's been on my mind a lot. Like, as far as the black and white remakes, which I just made a video talking about, like, what I think the black and white remakes need to have and like what I would love to see within those games. So I'm not gonna go too much in detail about that specifically. Check it out. It's like 2 videos I think before this one, so go check it out if you want to. And now obviously the modern day of Pokemon, it's 3D open world games, right? Pokemon Legends Arceus was open world. Scarlet and Violet, open world. Legend ZA is open world as well, which I think is really cool. I love the open world style Pokemon games, but I would still like to get the original kind of, you know, linear, whatever, top-down style Pokemon game in the future. Like, I hope it's not only open world games moving on into the future. So obviously the black and white remakes would be, you know, that linear kind of Pokemon play style, just like how Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl were, you know, a top-down art style. It was a chibi art style, which people didn't like a lot. I personally thought the art style was fine. Like, I didn't really care too much about it. However, I do wish Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl had more to it. But anyways, we're not gonna talk about that in this video. So for Pokemon Black and White remakes, what exactly will the art style be like? I don't think that they're going to do the chibi art style again, like Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. They could do something similar to like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire kind of style, but just with a higher resolution, if that makes sense. I think that would be kind of cool to see, or like, I guess similarly to the Pokemon Let's Go games, which I'm not a big fan of the Let's Go games, I'm not gonna lie. However, I do think they would follow something similar to that as far as like the graphics slash art style goes, which I feel like the black and white remakes aren't like the biggest debate about the future of remakes. The remakes that I'm extremely curious about are the Pokemon games that are already in 3D. Are we gonna get demakes? If you don't know what a demake is, it's literally a modern game just kind of like made, I guess, in an older style. So for example, we could have Scarlet and Violet, which looks like this, in a form that looks like the original 2D art style game. Like, that would be crazy. Like, what will happen for the Scarlet and Violet remakes? The Scarlet and Violet remakes are probably going to be in the year like 2037. Like, that is insane to think about, and who knows, they may not even be doing Pokemon remakes at that point. I have no idea what they're going to be doing in 20 years from now. It kind of hurts my brain to think about a little bit, because dude, by then we'd be on like what generation, like 15 or something like that, maybe even like 16. I'm just kind of guessing right now. I don't really feel like doing the math, but like, what will they do for those remakes? I mean, that is so far ahead in the future that like maybe the Scarlet and Violet remakes will literally be like VR, like real life graphics. Like, I don't even know what to think about those remakes. If you're brand new to the channel, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on the post notifications so you don't miss any brand new Pokemon news, updates, leaks, or just fun random videos like this one. Any support goes such a long way. Just want to say thank you, and check out my second channel, Fundores Clips. Link to that is in the description down below, and join the Discord server. Lots of super awesome people in there, by the way. For all the people in the Discord, you guys are all the goats. All right, check it out, link in the description. Back to the rest of the video. I personally like the idea of a demake. Like, for a Pokemon X and Y, I think it'd be cool to have the X and Y remakes be the art style of like black and white, like that kind of 2D slash a little bit of 3D art style. It would be really hard for them to do that though. Like, it definitely would be pretty labor intensive to make a demake of a 3D Pokemon game, but it would be super awesome. Obviously, remakes are few and far in between. Like, we don't really get that many remakes, obviously. Like, it's every maybe like 6, 7, 8 years, I guess. Obviously, it's kind of like they have to do a mainline game and then a spin-off game and a Legends game or whatever, and then it's like time for a remake. Like, you know, they're not going to do a remake in 1 year and then the next year do another remake. Like, they have to have some time in between it. Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green were really cool remakes because it's a great remake of the original game, Red, Blue, Green, whatever. So it was on the GBA, 2D pixel art style. Heart Gold, Soul Silver were on the DS. Obviously, the original games were from the Game Boy, which is pretty cool. Enhanced 2D games with limited 3D features. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire were on the 3DS. It was pretty much fully 3D. It was kind of a chibi art style, but it was like a chibi art style with a twist to it, right? And then the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl remakes were on the Switch, which was a chibi 3D kind of like mimicking a 2D layout in a way, which I think was kind of cool. Like, I can't even lie, I low-key do like the art style of Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, and I brought this up in a previous video. If those games weren't so, I guess, faithful, like if they weren't exact replicas of the original games, would people care about the art style? a part of me thinks that the people hate the art style because the games were not what they were expecting. So the art style was just kind of a thing that people would complain about. But I could be wrong. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl chibi art style. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's bad though. Like, it's not my favorite, but I actually don't think it's bad. The thing is too, it's like Game Freak is pretty much focused on 3D development. It seems like they want every Pokemon game to be 3D and open world, aside for the remakes. Like, I talked about how the possibility of the Black and White remakes could be an open world game, and I do think it's possible. Like, I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. However, I do think the odds of that are pretty slim. Like, I think if anything, they would probably do a little bit of 3D elements within Black and White. Like, some routes would be, you know, open world, or you could explore a little bit more than, like, you know, when you're in a city, it's going to be just linear and, you know, just kind of like the original style. And now we have different companies like Pokemon Works, which is, you know, Game Freak and Ilka and stuff like that, I think, within one little company to make different Pokemon games, which I think that they are making the remake side of things. Like, we know Ilka made Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, and then it seems like they're probably going to be making the next remakes, if I had to assume. Now, the engines that Game Freak are using are, like, pretty much for full open world stuff. Not saying that they can't make 2D art style again. Like, they definitely, certainly could make a 2D art style game. And we just got the new game released, or announced, I guess I should say, not released, of the Beast and Reincarnation game from Game Freak, which is another fully, I think it's open world. It's a 3D game. It's not even Pokemon related, but it looks great. So that's why I kind of think Game Freak is set on 3D development at the moment. I just think it would be awesome to have a demake of a mainline Pokemon game going back to the 2D art style, or I guess I should say a 3D mainline Pokemon game going back to the 2D art style. It could be a really cool spin-off with just like that pixel art. It would be really awesome. And now it could do what like Mario Odyssey did, at least I think it was Mario Odyssey, where there was a certain level where it took you back to like the original kind of like pixel Mario games, which I would absolutely love to see in a Pokemon game. If like we can go through some sort of like realm distortion thing where it takes us back in time, and then the actual gameplay for like that certain amount of time is in a 2D pixel art style, that would be awesome. Now, there are people that have made like fan-made 2D remakes which look insane. Like, this is Gamma Emerald. This game looks incredible. This is exactly what I would want to see from like a 2D demake, I guess I should say. I mean, the thing is, for like Scarlet and Violet though, I don't know how they would possibly do a demake because of the map. It would have to be a different kind of map layout. I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but I feel like for Pokemon X and Y, Pokemon Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon, pretty much all the 3DS Pokemon games, they could easily make a demake in a 2D pixel art style. 100% they could definitely do that. Now, like I said, when they get to the remakes of like the 3D open world Pokemon games, that's going to be a little bit difficult to make a map that's open world designed into a 2D art style. There is a huge demand for the 2D pixel art style. People really love it, and I think it would be really cool. However, I think that we're going in a good direction for the remakes because of the, you know, backlash, I guess, that Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl did end up receiving. Like, it unfortunately did receive a lot of backlash, but I think that's good for Game Freak and Pokemon. I think they have their eyes set on a bright future for Pokemon. Really curious to see the Black and White remakes and the X and Y remakes. And, you know, we'll probably get the Black and White remakes in a couple of years. They will happen. They did not skip Black and White remakes. Like, they are going to be doing the Black and White remakes. It's just a matter of time right now, as of like when we're going to even get it. Like, when are they going to announce it? When are they going to release it? They'll probably announce it in 2027 if I had to guess, and the games could release in that same year in 2027 or 2028, but I guess we'll see. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think that the future of Pokemon remakes is going to look like? I think it's going to be in a good direction, although I'm just kind of like curious to know like what exactly are they going to do? 3D, 2D, who knows? Let me know what you guys think. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. If you are real and watching this far in the video, comment down below your favorite pizza topping of all time, just to confuse the people that aren't watching this far in the video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe. Peace.